Welcome everyone in the Beloit community to round 7 of the Paddock, the Goals Flood Recovery Series brought to you by the Beloit Shire Council in partnership today with Beloit Youth Groups, Donald Men's Shed, Environmental Protection Agency, Jump Leads, North Central Football League, and with funding support from the Department of Families, Fairness and Housing, State and Federal Government Community Recovery Program, which is coordinated by the great team at Emergency Recovery Victoria. My name's Travis Fitzgibbon. I'm the Director of Community Development at Beloit Shire Council, and I'll be your host for this episode of the Paddock, the Goals. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we're broadcasting today and extend our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The wind direction appears pretty favourable today to our goal end, so let's hope after that nice drop of rain throughout the week, our farmers and our communities are up and about and with a bit of sunshine on our shoulders late in the week as well. Of course, it's elimination final weekend up in Sea Lake with the senior footy clash between Donald and Nullarbor and A-grade netball between Nullarbor and Birchip, who I understand are looking for their first A-grade premiership in 78 years. So good luck to the Bulls this afternoon, as well as all the teams competing across all grades of football, netball and hockey. We certainly hope you're listening from the car today while you enjoy the sports. If not, you can catch it, of course, at home or however you would like to catch your hot podcasts and catch up on our Beloit Shire Council website. You'll find all the details for the Paddock, the Goals there. Let's bounce the ball for the first quarter and introduce our guests. Simone Christie, manager of the Birchip Neighbourhood House, who auspice the Birchip Youth Group and coordinate Beloit's freezer program. Welcome, Simone.
Thanks, Travis.
And Emily Olive, who's a Charlton P12 student and member of the Charlton Youth Group. Welcome to you, Emily, as well.
Thanks for having me.
Youth groups in rural areas hold significant value, playing a crucial role in the social, personal and community development of young individuals. Rural areas often face challenges related to geographic isolation, and youth groups offer a way for young individuals to connect and create meaningful relationships, combating feelings of isolation. Emily, tell us about your experience with youth groups. In what ways do they provide you with a platform to engage with your local community and encourage participation in community events, volunteering initiatives and collaborative projects to foster that sense of belonging and connection?
Yeah, so I've had a wonderful experience with the Charlton Youth Group and the other youth groups in the Beloit Shire sort of area. Prior to joining the youth group, my volunteering experience didn't really stray too far from netball, so canteen duty, all that good stuff. So after joining the youth group, I've been in pretty much most neighbourhood house run events, I'd say, such as the Winter Wonderland, the Ripple, the Little Kids Disco, the Beloit Bowl, and OK Motels held earlier this year. So I can probably say for myself and a lot of other members in the youth group that, joining the youth group has given us lots of chances to participate and really get involved, because there's always people to help out and lots of people offering advice and knowledge in how to run our own things.
Terrific. And Simone, the neighbourhood houses play an important supportive role to our youth groups in Beloit. Can you tell us about Beloit youth groups and some of the initiatives that have been developed, such as involving youth in decision-making processes and empowering them to have a voice?
Yeah, so neighbourhood houses work within a community development structure. So we work with all people of all ages and from all cross-sections of our community. So the synergy between neighbourhood houses and youth groups is really good. And I think the freezer program is the program that I work with all the young people across the Shire, and that's been so beneficial because it's, we've got real money. Like often people ring me saying, we want to talk to the kids, we want to hear what they want. But with freezer, when they've got their own money, you can go to them and say, look, you've got $5,000 to run an event. How's this going to work? What do young people want? They've got real ownership. They've got to work within a budget. They've got to put on things that young people want, because if they don't, young people don't come, they make a loss, and they've got to make up that difference. Like they do fundraising within their own communities to raise the extra money they need to have an extra band or a DJ. The Charlton Kids, for example, have ran their event out at the esoteric site that the Goldsmiths have for their big festival. So just provides them with a lot of opportunities they wouldn't get in, when you're just playing around, is what I like. If they're filling in a survey or saying, well, this is what we want in theory, compared to when you've actually got a bucket of money and you've got to put something on, I think it's, it's a really different level of lot of skills you do learn.
Yeah, tremendous. And Emily, rural areas can sometimes lack access to a range of activities and resources. Youth groups provide a safe and supportive environment for young people to socialise, share experiences, and find an emotional support, which can really positively impact on mental health. Tell us about how the idea for the recent Masquerade Ball came about and how important that event was in bringing in the youth of Beloke together following the floods of October last year.
Yeah, so each youth group from the different towns sort of have been holding their own independent freezer events, which is really good for bringing kids in, but it's sort of what one town wants for themselves. And then when we met up in Sea Lake to sort of plan out the year and the timeline that everyone wanted to run their freezer events, it was suggested that there sort of be a different event come about, something sort of not as fast-paced and very sort of, you have to be a sort of specific person to enjoy the events, like heavy music, loud lights, sort of that thing. So we came up with the idea of the Beloke Bowl. It's formal. It was for the older 15 to 18 age bracket. So it was wanted it to be a mature and sophisticated thing after the floods to just see what kids were looking for.
The word sophisticated is why an invitation didn't arrive for me. So it sounds like it went really well, and it does give you that, like you say, the loud music, big lights, not for everyone. A masquerade ball would help you capture another part of the community as well.
Yeah, so we're really lucky to be able to put that on, and it was very well received by all the attendees of the event, and definitely something we look to holding again in the future.
Terrific. And Simone, talk us through why the involvement of youth in rural community activities and projects is so important for fostering that sense of responsibility towards our communities and the well-being, I guess, of that community, and how active engagement can lead to positive changes, sustainable development, and a stronger sense of community ownership.
Yeah, I think, Travis, what we're finding now is this loneliness epidemic. There's been a lot of research done into loneliness, and they're saying that 1 in 4 people report being lonely. And the surprising thing is that the highest number of people reporting loneliness are young people. And they're saying there's a real difference. What they've identified is the difference between alone and being lonely. So while kids might be surrounded by kids at school or kids at sport or acquaintances, if they don't have any real connection or something genuinely common with them, they can still be really lonely. So in rural communities in particular, where there's not much diversity, like there's a lot of mainstream sport. If you love sport, you're really well catered for. And when I say sport, it still is quite traditional sport. Like, today you'll see everyone, highlight of our year in sport is, the finals. So there's football, netball, hockey. Come summer, it'll be tennis or cricket. But if that's not you go, it's really difficult in a small rural community. So to have freezer is a real focus on live music, arts and culture. So to have that diversity for young people to be actively engaged, and like the Masquerade Ball, where they could get together with kids from across Beloke, rather than if you're in a really small town and you don't have a peer, you might be in a class of 20 kids, but you might not have anything in common with some of those kids. So to be actually, broaden your network to across all of Beloke is, really a really good thing. So that active engagement is really important. We forget that there's a lot of barriers, even to play mainstream sport. Like if you come from a separated or blended family, you might not be in Beloke every weekend. And our tradition is that, if you're in a team, you're there for training, you're there for Saturday sport. But, their family mightn't have a car. They might work on weekends and can't take their kids to sport. They may have to work themselves as a young person and can't then commit to training and football on a Saturday. So I think, it's really engaging that diversity and making sure that all young people have got something to do and something that's for them, not just something that we, traditionally think is okay for young people, because not all young people want the same things. And we do know that connected communities are what are now, referred to as resilient communities, and to survive or to thrive and to manage in emergency times, you need to be a resilient community. So we need to really build those connections for young people.
Yeah, those networks are absolutely crucial. Emily, opportunities for skill development is another valuable aspect in being involved in youth groups. Council was able to obtain funding through the Department of Families, Fairness and Housing to conduct 2 art recovery workshops, one in Charlton and one in Birchip. Tell us about the workshops, how much fun it was creating your own masquerade ball masks and decorations for the event.
We had an absolute blast at the workshops. It was so good. We walked in, me and my friends, there was a huge table of just endless art supplies. There was anything you could think of, and beyond that was on that table. So we had this artist there who was so talented, and she really showed us how to take those materials and, go one step further with it. So we came up with some really cool products that were displayed at the ball, which I thought was probably the best part, was seeing my mask just hung up or on a table, for everyone to see, because, we put lots of effort into that. And there was lollies and drinks and music, and it was just really fun. And there was one for sort of the lower end of the Bull Oak region and then the upper end. We had different group of kids. So it was really small groups was better because you were able to really connect with them and pull apart the different materials and really get one-on-one help with the artist, who was so talented. She talked about all the work that she's done. And Jo was there. She was really great fun to have with us. So, we were really lucky to be able to have that. Definitely got a lot out of it.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, Emily, and we're seeing a fine demonstration of your leadership skills today with your public speaking skills. Youth groups provide a training ground for nurturing future leaders who are attuned to the needs of rural environments. Our rural areas need young leaders like yourselves who understand the unique challenges and opportunities of the community. What are some of your future aspirations in leadership?
I know I've said this a lot, but we are really so lucky to have these youth groups, because the skills that I have gotten from having a leadership position in the Charlton Youth Group has just been endless. I've learned so much, which is really relevant to what I do. I'm hoping to get a Bachelor of Communications. So I'm looking to work in media, public relations, the crisis management in a brand or business. So really similar media-wise, really similar to what we're doing here today, working in a community, really helping people and talking to people is what I sort of aspire to do. It doesn't matter how I do it.
Terrific. That's a wonderful goal, and best of luck, because that does sound tremendous. Simone, a last one for you. In rural areas, there can be a tendency for young people to migrate to urban centres for that opportunity, something like Emily might be looking for, but just quietly, Emily, we're advertising for a job just like that at the moment, if you're interested. Youth groups can help retain local talent by providing avenues for skill enhancement and personal growth within our own community. So how important are the youth groups for skill retention and local development?
I think, Emily's a prime example. Like, just they're, amazing how well they can put themselves forward, how well they can represent their communities, how well they can engage other young people to get involved. But I always say, I think, if young people want to stay here, that's fantastic, and we need as many young people as we can. But I just want young people, when they live here, to have had a really good time, fun experience, and feel like they haven't missed out. So when they do go away to university or go off and work or get other skills and experience the world, that they always sort of remember Bull Oak was a good place to grow up. And so they're happy to come back here for those professional roles that you talk about at the Shire, advertising, that in health, in education. And that even, later on they think about bringing their families back and buying a house and living in Bull Oak, because they remember their childhood as a positive experience and it was a fun place for young people. So that's my aim, is that young people enjoy where they grew up, and that they, think of it as a place that they could come back to and bring skills and bring families and, broaden our diversity, so that we've got, new people coming through all the time with new skills and new life experiences. And then they, add so much to the fabric of our communities.
Emily, Simone, thank you both for your time today on the Paddock the Goals. Thank you for all you're doing in your communities and the leadership that you provide.
Thanks, Travis, and good luck to everyone playing finals today.
Thanks very much, Travis.